Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to tell a story today. A story about two British celebrities that you may know very well. Actually, I'm not a celebrity myself, and this is neither the TV program I am a celebrity. I'm Pauline, an exchange student from Tongji University, Shanghai, China. The things I'm going to tell you is about William Shakespeare's and Paddington Bear's journey in China. To be or not to be, that is the question. Right, Shakespeare. These are William Shakespeare's words. Even till today, we are still reading the scripts, reciting the sonnet, and watching the plays that he wrote 400 years ago. At the same time, our era also brings some innovations to him, and these innovations appear all around the world. For instance, this Chinese film tells the story that Hamlet traveled to ancient China in the era after the fall of Tang Dynasty to take revenge for his father and lover. Well, the air ticket must cost him so much. But at least better than the role he played in Lion King, he's still a human prince. Maybe someone will say the continued enthusiasm to Shakespeare comes from British people's emotion towards him, as Shakespeare occupies a very important position in the cultural life of Britain. No other reasons. Then I want to ask why Shakespeare is regarded as an unsurpassable milestone worldwide, including China. We read, we watch, we perform his plays. We enjoy talking about and thinking over his works. Why is that? How deep Shakespeare influenced China, and why in the heart of ordinary Chinese he is regarded as great and immortal? In order to answer these questions, so let's flash back to the 19th century when Shakespeare began his journey in China. During this period of time, some of his works were translated into Chinese version. Seeking for changing the backward social situation, a group of Chinese intellectuals invited Shakespeare to visit China to help them advocate reforms. It was a business time for Shakespeare. Instead of tasting Chinese cuisine, he immediately started learning Chinese and translating his works. But no worries, we all know Shakespeare is a language genius. Chinese is easy for him. Actually, not only being a translator, but also a drama director. In 1916, Shakespeare's famous tragedy Macbeth was adapted into drama The Thief of the Nation and was put on the stage in Shanghai for the first time. This drama aimed to attack the provisional president Yuan Shikai, the one in the middle, who declared himself as emperor at that time. You know, at that age, China was undergoing a significant social upheaval. Shakespeare was used as a weapon to critique the feudalism in the traditional Chinese culture. Indeed, this brought some changes to this Asian country, even just the hope of democracy and prosperity. Later, Shakespeare got involved into a cultural reform launched by some intellectuals with Western education background called anti-tradition, anti-Confucian, and anti-classical Chinese New Culture Movement. A really long title, isn't it? This culture movement aimed to overthrow the feudal ideas in people's mind. See, at that time, the humanism ideas in Shakespeare's works were more attractive and popular than the feudal ideas in the traditional Chinese literature and opera. At that time, more than 20 Shakespeare plays were put onto stage, but most of them appeared with Chinese drama name. At that time, my great-grandfather was still young. He witnessed this grand ideological movement in Shanghai. My memory was still fresh when I was a child. I found on his bookshelf a very old English version, The King Lear. I guess he must also be a Shakespeare fan, otherwise why he kept this old book. Later, in 1949, a new regime was born in China. After the foundation of People's Republic of China, the research and translation of Shakespeare's work renewed and became a trend. But, at the same time, Shakespeare got some troubles. Based on the mainstream value of that period, the directions and ways of studying Shakespeare were very single and limited. Consequently, class struggle and moral standard became the dominating thought to interpret and analyze Shakespeare's plays, instead of the comprehensive understanding to the artistic taste and human nature insight. For instance, Hamlet. Researchers at that time thought the tragedy completely came from some external factors, like times, the darkness of society, and the evil of usurper Claudius, while ignoring some other internal factors like Hamlet's personality split, his lack of execution, and even his mother complex. More was that during 1966 to 1976, as you may know, in the 10 years Cultural Revolution of China, due to the influence of the far-left thought, the performance of Shakespeare's work was forced to stop. Furthermore, people were forbidden to read any of Shakespeare's plays. During that time, Shakespeare got a really well name called the big bourgeois poisonous wits. The wits are innocent. So during this turbulent 10 years, there were only 8 revolutionary modern operas performed in the whole country, repeatedly. Although they look quite nice, and I really want to have a chance to have a look, have to say that was a disaster for China. The diversity lost. At that age, a lot of things were distorted, including Shakespeare. Things will not change until 1978. 1978 was a year with war memory forever, especially for Chinese intellectuals. They called it the Chinese Renaissance. After experiencing 10 years of cold winter, China finally stepped into spring. Just in this year, Chinese version of the complete works of Shakespeare was published as the first foreign writer complete works in China. And later in 1986, the first Shakespeare Drama Festival was held in Beijing and Shanghai at the same time. Total 25 plays were put on the stage in different types of performance. With Shakespeare waves sweeping across China, Shakespeare in the 18th became a hot term later on. At that age, Shakespeare was the favorite of my parents' generation. My dad once gave me some tips to go after the girl I fancied. This was one of them. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. He told me that he sent this sonnet to my mom when he was young to please the girl he loves. He succeeded, so I did the same. Guess what? That lovely girl reported me to the teacher. I was heartbroken. Anyway, for my grandparents' generation, they were not able to read or watch any of Shakespeare's plays during the 10 years Cultural Revolution. Although they could only read Shakespeare's work before or after the Cultural Revolution, their interest to Shakespeare was not less than that of my parents or my great-grandparents. Once I asked my grandfather how much he knew about Shakespeare. To my surprise, he said he read many of Shakespeare's plays, like A Midsummer Night's Dream, Othello, King Lear, and etc. His answer was really beyond my expectation. Still, we are facing another notable question. That is why Shakespeare appeared in each turning point of China, and each time it played an important role and had influence. I think the answer of this could be found from Shakespeare's works. This is because the political, social, nature, and ethnic ideas expressed in his works gave Chinese audience a sense of identity. For instance, Shakespeare was against abstinence, admitted the rationality of human lust, and the right to enjoy the secular happiness. Shakespeare respected humans' free will and creativity. Obviously, his worldview perfectly catered to the social ideological trend of China when and after its opening to the outside world. Compared with the Shakespeare hot in 1980s, although people today have more rational understanding to Shakespeare, won't give it too many ideological and artistic texts and meaning, Shakespeare still exists in the heart of ordinary Chinese. To be or not to be, that is the question. Shakespeare's famous words. This sentence has become an idiomatic pattern often used for ordinary people around us to make a choice, to make a decision. For people who want to lose weight, they joke like this before eating. Eat or not eat? That's the question. For boys and girls falling in love, perhaps the most faithful images of love in your mind are Romeo and Juliet. But remember my experience, gentlemen. When trying to write a poem and quoting the words of Shakespeare to send her to a girl, please do not forget to add one more sentence at the end. Very important. Don't report to me. Please. As students in English department, we are required not only to read Shakespeare's original text, but also to practice its plays. We often have drama practice and drama competition in our school. This was one of them. Did you notice that? Which play is it? Right, Romeo and Juliet. Really hope we can get some better actors so that you could recognize it much more quickly. So maybe we could say people accept the new culture firstly and mainly through literature and art. By this way, it hits our souls again and again and hides in our body. Perhaps this is where the value of cultural dissemination lies in. Since the introduction of Shakespeare in the 19th century, the cultural exchange between China and Britain never stops. Almost 200 years later, another British celebrity came to China with his symbolic red hat, duffel coat, and leather suitcase. Paddington Bear stepped into Shanghai and started his journey in China. As a leading role, Paddington opened a new area for the UK-China cultural exchange. On the 3rd of March, the premiere of Paddington was held in Shanghai Film Museum. The Duke of Cambridge, Prince William, as the most prestigious and important guest, stepped onto stage, ceremoniously introduced Paddington to Chinese audience. Perhaps this is also the first time that my two characters meet with each other in the history, William and Paddington. My British friend told me that Paddington is a well-known cartoon image accompanying British people for many generations. Just as the theme song of it indicates, shine when you're trying to get home, shine when you don't want to be alone. Look at yourself in a mirror. That is your way home. Paddington, this famous family comedy, warms our hearts and lights our road ahead with typical British style and strong British humor. And after watching this movie, I really want to have a try the marmalade sandwich. Does it really exist? Yeah, cool. Find the meaning of journey. Britain is a place with love, warmth, and embracement. This is what I feel here. China as well. There is no doubt Paddington's arrival in China is a highlight of the UK-China culture exchange. Coming with him, the very best of UK culture, especially the renewed creativity and art industry, are introduced into China. In this coming July, the focus of the UK-China culture exchange will come back to Britain. More cultural events with Chinese elements will be held in London, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Belfast, and many other places. And I believe that these new things will bring people in two countries more and more new possibilities in the future. And looking forward to Paddington's future journey in China. Both William Shakespeare and Paddington played an important role in the cultural exchange between China and Britain, one in modern China, the other in contemporary China. Both of them started their journey in Shanghai and then spread it throughout China. As a student from Shanghai, it seems I have a different feeling about this. Proud? Yes, I am. And I believe the cultural exchange between China and Britain will never stop. It will continue to inspire innovations and creativity. For instance, Salute Shakespeare, an 8-month-lasting series of performance of Shakespeare's plays, has begun in last year. For sure, people in two countries will enjoy lots of opportunities in the courses of this event to explore what this creative partnership really means in the 21st century. So sometimes I'm thinking what new fashion style might appear with this creative partnership. Now I know. Perhaps like this. Well-known British etiquette plus Chinese enthusiasm. How can I help you? I heard that you need to rebuild Kent for the earthquake. Exchange, integrate, acknowledge. I accept you, you accept me. Is it what it should be? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.